We have a meeting of the joint leaders after 10 rounds of the Super League. This is the biggest contest of the year so far. It's the Leeds Rhinos against St Helens. Leeds have won 5 of the last 6. They slept up here on Easter Tuesday when a Phil Bailey try for Wigan ruined the only unbeaten home Super League record. They bounced back though to inflict Warrington's heaviest defeat at their new stadium, 52-10 last Sunday, 9 tries, and Kevin Sinfield kicked 8 from 9 goals. This is their lineup: Brent Webb at full-back, then it's Lee Smith, Ashley Gibson, Keith Senior, Scott Donald, Danny McGuire and Rob Burrow. It's unchanged actually from the visit to Warrington last week. Ryan Bailey, Matt Diskin, Jamie Peacock, Jamie Jones, Buchanan, Gareth Ellis, and the skipper Kevin Sinfield at loose forward, with Clinton Tupy, Kylie Luluai, Jamie Thackeray and Ian Kirk on the bench for coach Tony Smith. Now St Helens 5 straight League and Cup wins behind them. Paul Wellens at full-back. There's no Gardner, so Stephen Tyra takes his place on the wing. Matt Gidley is ill, so it's Dean McGilvray, Willie Tallow and Francis Melly. Price and Long at half-back. Up front, it's Fozzard, Cunningham and Kalis. Sculthorpe in the second row. Lee Gilmore, the Great Britain international, had an operation on his knee this morning. He is in hospital and will be out for up to 2 months. Mike Bennett's alongside him, and James Roby is in the unfamiliar role of loose forward. And the bench, it's James Graham, Scott Moore, Paul Clough and Mauri Farsavalu. The coach is Daniel Anderson. Well, Ronnie the Rhino warming up in style for what should be a great match. The visitors, of course, all 3 trophies last year. They also completed 3 wins against the Rhinos. 13-4 at Nosey Road in February, 18-14 here in July, and 54-18 in the 3rd meeting at Nosey Road in September. Jamie Lyon inspired the victory that night with 24 points. Last season's 18-14 victory for Daniel Anderson's men ended a 4-match losing sequence in Headingley for St Helens. The Leeds Rhinos, prior to last year, had won 4 in a row against St Helens here. The sequence included a 70-0 hiding in July 2004, and Leeds also inflicted the highest score in Super League against Saints here in 2001 when they claimed a 74-16 victory in May of that year. Kevin Sinfield leads the Rhinos out, and Sinfield, with those 8 goals last week, he becomes only the 4th player to score 1,500 points for the Leeds club. The South Standers welcome their heroes onto the park. Thumbs up from Tony Smith. Will it be thumbs up after the next 80 minutes? We shall see. Perfect night for it, Steve-O. Wonderful spring evening.
And a packed audience, and I'm sure they're all awaiting 2 of the great teams in Super League, stacked with wonderful talent. And it is going to be a real tough encounter. Let's hope that Ashley Klein gives them plenty of room to move, takes them back the full 10 metres. There are so many clashes out there, Eddie, that it's worth the entrance money alone.
Absolutely, it should be one of the great games of the season, even though St Helens are just a little weakened by the fact that they've lost some of their stars. John Wilkin, of course, is a long-term absentee, as is Jason Hooper. He's probably gone for the rest of the season. So they're doing it tough injury-wise, the champions, but Leeds will have no charity in mind as Kevin Sinfield gets us underway. Roby puts his hand up, gives it to Fozzard. First challenge from Jamie Jones Buchanan and Jamie Peacock. It should be a full-blooded affair, this, as Kalis drives the ball forward again for the men in black tonight, the Saints.
Well, the first impact has really set the scene for a rough encounter. But as I mentioned before the kick-off, I'm sure Leeds will be wanting to give it plenty of air. And that's good refereeing. Ashley Klein just shoving him away. Oh, and he's got them now for not standing square.
Well, that was brilliant work from Kieran Cunningham, actually. He moved out and he knew that Ellis wasn't standing square.
He's the master of it, isn't he? He is the master at that. How many times has he just poached a penalty? And that's what he's done. He's poached it.
Fozzard again for the Saints. Nick Fozzard, former Leeds junior here all those years ago. Now it's with Sean Long. Back it comes to Wellens. He was missed by Ashley Gibson, but he was sorted by Jamie Jones-Buchanan and Kevin Sinfield. This now is Mike Bennett, and Bennett is dumped to the ground by Sinfield's tackle. It's Cunningham to Long, and here is Leon Price. Leon Price gets the ball on that far side to James Arobi.
Second phase of attack, well spotted there by Keith Senior. Wasn't going to be fooled by it.
Fossard is tackled on the final tackle this set of 6.
Will it be a bomb or will it go for the corner?
It's Long with a high kick, and that will hang. Wellens is after it. Wellens claims it. The ball comes back. They have men out here, and this is going to be the first try, is it? It is, and it's a try to Stephen Tyra. Referee Ashley Klein will hand it upstairs to the video referee Phil Bentham. He wants to check that Wellens and co were all onside.
Well, it looks okay from there. That is fine. There are 2 players in front, but I don't think that they get involved. Wellens is onside. That is what the video referee will be looking for. And those 2 St Helens players, they make no movement forward. They know that they were going to be caught. So it was Wellens that takes the ball, and the ball is flicked deliberately back. I think this try will be standing. They were caught out, Leeds. They bunched up tight underneath the post, and this should be a TRY very early in the game.
St Helens get the dream start, and Stephen Tyra, he was rested over Easter. He played centre in each of the previous 3 matches. He's just recorded his 2nd try of 2007, and here is a young man of 18 years of age with a truly massive future ahead of him.
The advantage of getting plenty of height, and that is what Sean Long has done. Superb work from the fullback. Out jumps the opposition, squeezes it out, and quick hands. He knew he had the pace, he knew he had the strength. That's a good finish, but Leeds were caught. They were sucked right in when they should have been spreading out soon as the ball was flicked away by Jason Kalis. And young Taro did the rest.
Well, the names might change, the identities might change, but the style remains.
Well, it's the best way to start a game of rugby league, isn't it? Score a try before your opponents can even touch the ball. We saw Hull and Bradford have chances in the opening minutes last night. I wonder whether Saints were watching. They didn't need a second invitation.
And Sculthorpe has added the extras off the touchline, and St Helens lead by 6 points to 0. What a start for Stephen Tyra and the Saints.
Well, you can see from the kick-off here, first set, penalty with Cunningham's quick thinking from the play of the ball, and then 5 runs, the high kick, a famous ploy really for St Helens, and Tyra takes advantage.
But they see quickly that talk about the defence being sucked in, and that is the reason why they've come up with the first try of the game.
Roby makes a little half break. It was an important ankle tap that Ashley Gibson got in on him. Just brought him down because the entire length of the field was beckoning for Roby then.
Tremendous work, wasn't it, by Ashley Gibson. Interesting to see that Tony Smith, the Leeds coach, of course, has given Gibson the opportunity to start the game. They've dropped Clinton Tupy onto the bench.
Brilliant ball from Cunningham. Here is Bennett.
Even in the first few minutes of this match, Robert, you see the problems that Kieran Cunningham caused his opponents. It was his quick thinking that got them in the position for that first try. They've just bombed another chance there. But when you play St Helens, is that the first threat you face?
The first threat you face definitely is the way St Helens play around the mark. One thing you got to know when you're defending against St Helens, you must control the play of the ball. And at the moment, Leeds aren't doing that.
It's Leeds who are in possession, though, here with Matt Diskin.
Good work by the hooker as well. Just doing exactly the same thing as what Saints did. Got themselves into a good position. No doubt they'll go for the kick if they can't get through this solid Leeds defence.
This is Brent Webb over the top and looping into the arms of Ashley Gibson. Melly is all round him. Gibson just slipped on the lush Headingley turf. Interestingly enough, if you notice, standing out on the far side in the centres for Leeds on the right, not the left, is Keith Senior. It doesn't matter, this is Brent Webb, and Wellens gets to him. Here is Gareth Ellis. Ellis tries to stand them up, offloads the ball again to Webb. Back it goes. comes to McGuire. They come back this way. McGuire hands it on to Sinfield. Here is Burrow. This is Gibson. Gibson gets it to Scott Donald. Well, I told you in the build-up to this that these two sides love to play fast, free-flowing rugby league. It doesn't come much better than this.
Does he get it down? I think he does, you know. This is an impossible try, but it does, I'm sure. It just skirts the whitewash. That's a try. That is unbelievable. Welland's in attendance, trying to get the hands underneath, but I think that has brushed the whitewash sufficiently enough to be classified as TRY. What a great fight back by the Rhinos. It was all set up with some tremendous work with the forwards, especially Diskin running very quick from dummy half. And I think that this try will be given. Watch it just skirt the whitewash here. That's try time.
I think it's short.
Do you feel it's short?
I do. I think it's an absolutely amazing effort. Player upside down, on his head, still thinking, how do I score a try here? But I just think that's just short of the line.
Well, it's pretty hard to say.
It's a guess either way, isn't it, for the video referee, Steve-O?
So the phrase benefit of doubt to attacking side comes into play, maybe.
I think they'll give it.
I reckon he had his hands underneath, to be honest. I'll throw another one in there. Short and hands underneath. That's what I saw anyway.
Well, we toss a coin, but that is not the job of Phil Bentham.
What does he say, the video ref?
Oh, no try.
Try is denied.
I reckon he agreed with me.
Well, it was a remarkable effort from Scott Donald.
And great defence as well.
Well, you can see Welland's trying to get their hands underneath, and a shake of the head from the head coach, Tony Smith. He's not convinced.
I bet the phrase benefit of doubt went through his mind as well.
You keep saying that to me, Eddie, and you know, every time you say it, they just ignore you.
That's nothing new in that, Steve-O. Let's go down to the sideline and join Bill.
Eddie, you mentioned earlier on the absentees in the Saints side. One of them, Matt Gidley, of course, was taken ill on the coach over here. Really sad day for Matt Gidley, because his parents had just flown in to see him playing for Saints for the first time. They'd travelled to Leeds, stayed in a hotel overnight, come to the ground hoping to see him in action. And in actual fact, they've had to take him back to St Helens because he's so ill. So a disappointing day for them, but maybe not for Saints.
Maybe not the way they're playing. It's an incredible start from St Helens.
That was incredible passing movement, wasn't it? It was fingertips all the way, no real control over it. That's a good kick. Tremendous kick into the in-goal area. Will it go too long? Just.
Sean Long scheming, as he always does, over 300 career games, over 2,300 points. Well, this is Jamie Jones-Buchanan for Leeds.
It was expected he was going to have a big game tonight. He's announced that he no longer will be involved in the international game, and of course he's playing against a little halfback, Rob Burrow, who must have aspirations on taking that position in a Great Britain jumper.
Here's a man with a massive Great Britain future, Gareth Ellis, and a pretty good Great Britain present. Keith Senior taking them on down that right-hand side tonight. Tony Smith has made a tactical switch here. This is Rob Burrow. Burrow with the left foot, drilling St Helens back, but that also will run dead in goal.
Not surprising that Leeds, will be pinpointing the young winger, Dean McGillivray. Don't know much about this kid, but it's a big ask.
Well, he's a former Blackbrook amateur. He's come through the scholarship at St Helens, and there he is with the ball in hand right now. Plays the ball to Kieran Cunningham, and this is James Roby. Also got a glimpse of a very good other up-and-coming young Saint in Stephen Tyler then, the man who scored the try. Here is Kalis, big grunt as he was hit then by Jamie Peacock. They're just over halfway, St Helens. The ball in the hands of Sean Long again.
Now this is unusual. You're seeing Sean Long actually play the ball. Hasn't been doing that of late. He's been quite happy to just be the schemer.
Another towering kick to test Brent Webb. Webb gets it and is tackled by Mike Bennett almost immediately. Scott Donald denied by the video referee. Crowd on the back of the referee in the middle. Ashley Klein already. Here is Ryan Bailey.
Well, we're pretty confident, the Rhinos, at the moment. OK, the try was denied to Donald, but it was the manner that they went right upfield in three play. The balls went up about 50, 60 metres, got themselves in a good position.
Great offload by Peacock to Burrow, who is trampled to the ground by Kalis and Cunningham. Here is McGuire. McGuire with a kick out to Paul, one straight into the arms of Francis Melly. Strong run and a good tackle by Ashley Gibson.
There's two schools of thought, Eddie. You can either run round a player or you can run straight through and rob it, and I think Francis Melly goes for the latter.
Definitely, when you're the size of Francis Melly and you can move there quickly, I reckon I'd do it as well. But I'm not, so that's why I run around people. We'll try.
Fozzard, he only knows one way as well. That's over the top of everybody.
That's the way to come onto a ball, though, isn't it? You know, he knew that he was going to be aggressive. You could see it written all over his face.
Long here.
Oh, looking to get away with it.
And here is Cunningham. Gets away from Gibson. And Cunningham, like a steamroller up the middle. He finds Leon Price. Price with the pass. It goes behind to Paul Sculthorpe. It's picked up by Talau, who just brushed Rob Burrow aside. This is the last tackle for St Helens. And it's with Long again. And Long will hoist the kick out here, looking for Francis Melly, but no. It's diffused in goal by Brent Webb. And they'll restart from the 20-metre line.
You'll be disappointed, Sean Long. And this is the tactics that have done Leeds so well over the years. Tony Smith quite happy to launch the attack, even though they're in their own quarter. He's always asking his players that if there's the opportunity, try to offload.
Sinfield to Burrow, to Peacock. Tackled by Leon Price. Leon Price will be up for this, the former Bradford Bull, of course, who's had many a great tussle with the Rhinos over the years. Gareth Ellis. Matt Diskin, great run from the hooker. He's away from Sculthorpe.
Now will they test out McGuire? No, they've gone the other way.
Burrow drills the ball all along the deck. Bouncing a bit unkindly, but brilliantly picked up by Melly. And a great pass inside to Wellens. Here comes Paul Wellens, 4 tries last week against the Catalan Dragons.
Tremendous combination. How he does it is beyond belief, this fullback Paul Wellens. He's not the fastest player, but he always seems to have the ability to beat the first man.
Leeds are expending a lot of energy, Phil, in chasing and harassing and harrowing here.
It's almost as if there's an offload competition taking place at the moment. Which team can offload the most and come up with the best ones? It's meaning that both sides are having to work so hard defensively. Almost a set of 6 tackles becomes 12 or even 15 or 18. The number of times that the second and third phases are created.
And Long is tackled just over the halfway line. Tackle number 4. Gets to his feet, plays it to Price, goes without it.
Tried to be too smart. Peacock will take full advantage of that. It's one thing going and scooping it with one, but when you try with 2, you can get very mixed up, and that's exactly what he did.
This is Ryan Bailey. Bailey plays the ball to Burrow. Here comes Gareth Ellis.
I'm surprised the way this St Helens defence. Normally they get right into the faces. They're taking a couple of steps, some of them, and then hanging back, trying to see what Leeds are going to throw at them.
Gibson tries to go inside. Sean Long with Tyra.
Do you know, Eddie, look at that ball in play. Over 10 minutes in over the 12 we've had so far. Very few stoppages.
Scott Donald won't be denied this time for the Rhinos. Great offload by Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Perhaps a touch of fortune about it. But the offloads, well, we're seeing everything here tonight already. And Scott Donald, his 45th consecutive appearance, 10 tries now in all games so far. He's the Rhinos' leading try scorer. He was denied a few minutes ago by video referee Phil Bentham. He has now registered his 6th Super League try of the campaign.
Well, it all came about by the big error by the standoff Leon Price, and again, good work working on that blind side. What a lovely offload there. Nice step from Donald. He's not going to be denied on this occasion. Turned down a few minutes ago, but they got caught very badly on that short blind side. They were left with Sean Long alone, and by the time Wellens got anywhere near the man, Donald was over the line. Jones Buchanan was sensational in that offload.
Good job that Scott Donald takes the rugby ball to bed with him. Very familiar with it, managed to hold on. Kevin Sinfield plonks the ball over the top of the H, and it's all square.
I think every team that wins trophies in rugby league has a back rower who's prepared to do the unglamorous work, you know, things that don't get noticed. Jamie Jones-Buchanan fills that role, but just look how quickly and how efficiently Leeds get down into a position. The skill of Scott Donald to take in that ball, denied earlier, 6 tries in Super Leagues 2007, and fully deserved.
Well, with his Great Britain hat on tonight, Tony Smith's watching 11 of the men who contested the 2006 Tri-Nations for Great Britain. And there is a host of other players hoping to force their way into his first squad for the first test match against France in June as well. There are candidates all over the park tonight. And this is Jamie Peacock, who I noticed a few minutes ago was struggling a little bit in back play. Looked like he was trying to shake an injury off. He will continue to carry the battle forward, though, for the Rhinos here. This is Senior, and he was nearly through. An important tackle then by Willie Talau. This is Diskin, now it's with McGuire. McGuire sees a little gap and goes for it, gets the offload to Burrow. Here is Kevin Sinfield, and Sinfield will give it to Jamie Jones-Buchanan again. A fumble from Jamie Jones-Buchanan, he gets it away to Gibson though. Gibson is scragged to the deck by Francis Melly. They're chancing their arm both sides.
Sensational rugby league football. And again, you've got to point to the fact that Matt Diskin, he knows when to just run from dummy half, gets good meters forward. That's a high one, but a bit too far.
That's a bit too far ahead of the Leeds attackers. Wellens claims it, but McGuire and Diskin with the tackle. Here is McGilvray. He played for St Helens against Catalan Dragons last season, and don't forget, you see the markings all over the pitch tonight here. We've got the Millennium Magic coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Saturday, May 5th and May 6th, 0844 477 7113, the telephone number. There's the programme for Saturday. And there's the programme for Sunday. Fantastic matches. Join us in Cardiff for Millennium Magic in a fortnight. Long, meanwhile, has boomed this out on the full.
Well, he was in total control, wasn't he, in the opening 10 minutes? And he is very, very angry with himself. He knows how important it is, because automatically Leeds will get possession in the St Helens half. And I just get the feeling that the Leeds forwards are so strong at the moment.
This is McGuire. He is brought down by Sean Long. Kevin Sinfield's the dummy half. He finds Jamie Peacock. Peacock going head-to-head with Kalis.
You see, this is where the good play the ball, and the likes of Diskin just scampering away. When you get 3 defenders zoning in that one area.
This is Brent Webb. Back it goes to Diskin. Look left, thought better of it. Nobody was really putting their hand up then down the left-hand side. They are now with Sinfield. Here is Ellis. And Ellis is wrestled over on his back by 3 defenders. Sinfield will fire the pass to McGuire. McGuire will dab it in, looking for Burrow. It's no try.
The combination, 2 half-backs. They obviously play on the training ground this move time and time again. It just ricocheted away, and that's how close it was.
It was a header from Rob Burrow. Here's a penalty for St Helens now.
Lee Smith just a little bit excited over it.
I think he was somebody was grabbing a player in back play as the sign from Ashley Klein.
One of St Helens' great advantage this season has been the impact from the subs. Here's Farsivalu, Graham's on the field, he just helped them get another 20 metres downfield. And the challenge is for Leeds to match what the power these 2 players bring.
Here is Cunningham. This is Roby. Roby, of course, the man who usually replaces Kieran Cunningham, gives him a bit of a spell on the sidelines. In tonight at loose forward from the start. Wellens goes at Gibson, helped out by Bailey. The man of steel is brought to ground. This now Francis Melly. Francis Melly tackled inside the 20-metre zone. Kieran Cunningham waits. Graham's on his inside. Thunder to the floor, James Graham. Here now, Cunningham. And Cunningham attacking them. This is Sculthorpe. I think Sculthorpe has lost it forward.
Good defence. He was spinning in the tackle, lunged out with the arm. but lost control. So close. Senior did well to get over the body.
And what again, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, that unnoticed player that helps you. You know what I mean? They go through a side. Lee Radford plays that role at Hull. Several players do it in good teams. They don't get a lot of notice from the supporters on the sideline. I'll tell you what, the teammates love having them around.
As there he is, Jamie Jones-Buchanan. He hasn't missed a game for 11 months. 5 England caps, and with Tony Smith, now the new national coach, you can bet your life, I think, that Jamie Jones-Buchanan might be in that first squad that Tony Smith names for the international against France. Here he is. That international is in June, by the way. We get the first chance to assess Tony Smith as the national coach. Oh, Burrow! Lovely jinking run from Burrow. He's backing himself for speed. Burrow fires the pass to Donald again. Inside 1, inside 2, flings the ball anywhere. Ball all over the show, knocked forward. Referee will calm us all down, bring it back for the knock-on.
Well, beat was away, wasn't it? It was lunging to him. And I wonder what he was thinking, whether I should take him, but it was a good positional play by Paul Wellens. Wellens did not commit himself too early. He forced him away towards the whitewash, and it must have been going through his mind. Rob Barrow saying, can I make it, can I make it, and then offloaded.
An end-to-end game in all intents and purposes, isn't it? Within less than a minute, we see Sulkoff almost go at one end, Leeds go the other way. This can't keep up for another 60 minutes.
You wouldn't think so. But the fitness of Super League players these days, everybody admires it. And we've got 2 of the fittest, 2 of the fastest, 2 of the most attractive teams in front of us here. And Saints, remember, with 4 teenagers in the side because of injuries and illness today.
And that's the importance when our game of rugby league went full-time professional, because the quality that they turn out week in, week out, Eddie, is just superb, isn't it?
No question of that. Leon Price, one of the seasoned campaigners. Here's another, Cunningham. Showed it to Bennett, another dummy. And Ellis went for a piggyback ride, brings him down. That's Tyra, this long. Up it goes again, high and deep. Webb is on his own, watching it carefully. Webb loses the footing at the vital stage, gets back up though, almost recovers. Trousers off. Shorts round the ankles for Brent Webb.
Nice undies. Pretty solid defence there. Fasavalou, did he swing an arm? No, says the official. He's having a power game, isn't he? Jamie Jones-Buchanan looking for work, eager.
Lee Smith, Ryan Bailey. Penalty to Leeds. That is a relieving penalty. The first penalty that Leeds have got. Saints have got 2.
Well, that's the first signs of fatigue that we've seen from the players. It has been helter-skelter and a wonderfully fast pace, but on that occasion it would have not pleased that man Daniel Anderson that the combination of 2 experienced players just held him down too long.
Daniel Anderson, he was the man, the Saints coach, who suggested Tony Smith for Great Britain's top job, the first man to mention his name. They're great friends. McGuire, brilliant! Oh, Danny McGuire! Sold 2 dummies. Just goosed it through the St Helens defence. And Danny McGuire, his 100th try in the weekly rounds of the Engaged Super League. And they're dancing on the South Stand terrace now. Danny McGuire.
And so they should be dancing, and they are cheering, because this is sheer quality. The dip of the shoulder was superb. All came from the penalty. A very tired outfit at the moment. You can see some are going up, they held back, and I'm afraid Stephen Tyra, the inexperience, showed there on the youngster, and Danny McGuire knew it. Tyra went in, you've got to commit yourself, son. And he didn't do that. He went and then waited to see what this guy was going to do, and he just scooted round him.
Well, the game's gone from end to end, and this is a great example of that. Leeds got up to the halfway line, and after the penalty, kicked into touch. Great field position. Danny McGuire's pace took advantage of it, and you can see just why he's loved so much here at Headingley Carnegie.
He has reached the 100 try milestone in weekly rounds. in just 114 appearances. Only Leslie Viner-Cole over the Bradford Bulls has scored 100 weekly round tries quicker. Sinfield adds the extras. The Rhinos ahead 12-6.
You have to commit yourself in defence. If you're going to move out, you've got to make sure you're in his face. You can see that he's sliding across, and with the power and the speed, McGuire has set the South Stand alight.
Danny McGuire. Yes, that was a dark day for St Helens in 2004. That 70-0 scoreline against them.
I think one of the reasons why Leeds have moved the ball so much in the opening 20 minutes is to take advantage of the pace that Danny McGuire has. It means that the St Helens defenders have to spread the full width of the pitch. The gap from one defender to another is wider, and then that allows the acceleration that McGuire has. When given the gap, he's able to get through it.
Danny McGuire is also one of those players that once he does get tackled, your whole defensive line collectively lets out a sigh of relief, because you know he is one of the linchpins of this Leeds outfit and one of the most dangerous players in the Super League.
That was a brilliant offload by Jamie Thackeray. Gareth Ellis was nearly through. Paul Scottthorpe with an important tackle. Leeds coming at them now in a white wave. This is Brent Webb.
Again, the quality from Matt Diskin. He is making the St Helens side suffer. They're going backwards.
Sinfield with a kick down the line. It's picked up by Wellens, who was tackled by Ashley Gibson.
Great
There's
build-up.
Diskin.
Super play. You know, on the three occasions that they've looked threatening all the time, good, hard, solid work, but they're getting up Leeds, playing the ball quickly, and they're catching the St Helens defence, who are looking a little bit leaden-footed at the moment.
I think what they're doing, Steve, is they're beating St Helens at their own game. That's what St Helens traditionally do to you. They win the ruck, they get you on the back foot, and players like Cunningham, Roby, Price, they get out acting half and absolutely rip you to shreds. And that's what Leeds are doing to them at the moment.
This is Leon Price.
Great tackle from Ellis.
I think that Leon Price and his threat down that left-hand side for St Helens. Look at this, the handling skills are fantastic. Look at that.
Sensation!
Down from Fasalou to James Roby, and Roby gets the try. Where does that come from? Roby with the try next to the sticks. Fasalou. What a pass around the man. But St Helens just would not let that ball die again. And they just kept moving and offloading and offloading. And the pass from Fasalou, well, that was worth the admission money alone. Watch this again.
Sheer quality. Wellens give it through to the big fella. This is a man that's noted, and it was going backwards. It ricochets off the back of the fullback, Brent Webb, and Roby accepts it with glee. But you've got to have quality going through the brain box to be able to do this. What a superb offload. Especially from a man. Fasalou normally runs through the brick wall. On this occasion, he found the door and just offloaded it.
When Paul Wellens took the kick in 10 metres from his own line, Saints looked a little tired in that. Everybody else thought they would be blowing. But look how they worked across to the left-hand side. Leon Price challenging down on the halfway line, and then a team that can run the ball in the last play like that. Well, that's special.
Well, he had a memorable Easter, including his first try of the year against Wigan. And James Roby, the runner-up to James Graham for Young Player of the Year last year. He's the bookies' favourite for the Man of Steel in 2007, an award that this fellow, Paul Scottthorpe, knows all about.
Well, it just makes you appreciate the value of international rugby league. James Roby went down under to play against Australia and New Zealand, and look how he's returned.
Scottthorpe adds the extras for the Saints, and we're level pegging again at 12 all. Yes, he's the star of the show. He's even on Sky Sports Soccer AM All Sports Show, and he's been doing a singing and dancing act. Caught it just the other night. James Roby actually was miming to a song with a brush in his hand.
So he wasn't singing then?
No, he was miming.
Is he a good mimer?
It was, I think, and they also actually showed our pictures from the tour when he went trying to catch seagulls on Manly Beach, if you might remember.
It's the other way around with this fella, though. He's hard to catch.
I was going to just make the point that Leon Price's threat down the left for St Helens, I think, is the reason why Tony Smith has moved Keith Senior over to the right. Don't you, Phil?
I think that's quite possibly the case, isn't it? But Leon Price is one of those players. He's given a free rein, he drifts around, he waits for a quick play of the ball, and if there is one, he'll very often put himself in at the acting half-back position and take off from there. He's just able to play the game how he wants it.
Graham, quick hands from Long, a little bit too quick. Rob Burrow has got it back for Leeds.
Too
you
fancy.
can see the heavy traffic coming then, Long.
But it was too fancy, too casual. Should have made sure they held on to possession.
Ellis does that.
It's all right to be doing that when you're about 3 or 4 metres away from the opposition line, but not when you're in your own half. Oh, that should be on the report. And Thackeray hits the deck.
He's all right. He's made a tough stuff.
It was the lift, really. The lift from Roby underneath.
Yeah, when you've got the big fella just laying on your chest at the same time.
Eddie, I don't know about you, but that's the best half an hour of rugby league I've seen this year.
Sensational. As I say, let's have this at Old Trafford in the grand final. Sorry, Robbie, but, you know...
It's amazing. You know, you'd never think that these two teams are fighting out for the top spot. They're throwing the ball around with just, you know, such luxurious rugby league, you know, taking chances, chucking the ball wide. I really expected tonight's game would be a lot tighter than this.
And on top of that, let's also take into account that none of these tries that have been scored have come from, apart from one where a man just got out of position, they've actually pulled in the defence and they're offload, offload, offload. It's basic rugby league football, but boy, it's attractive to watch.
It certainly is. And I know that all the other 10 clubs in Super League and their supporters will be howling with derision at the thought of me saying this should be the grand final. Well, if it isn't going to be the grand final, all the other 10, I'm sure, will prove me wrong. There's a long way to go. Bradford will have a say. Wigan, I think, are starting to find it again. Leeds, of course, St Helens, Huddersfield are on the charge.
Yeah, I was
Robbie.
about to say, what about the Giants?
Yeah, you're on the charge.
You're on the charge at the moment.
Well, you're on the charge. Make sure no one pulls the plug out. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, they'll pull the plug out when I start playing again.
Well, if they win tomorrow, the Giants, Catalan leading 2-0 against Warrington in the south of France, by the way, but if they win tomorrow, Huddersfield Giants, it's a record Super League 4 in a row for them. That's incentive enough. The Harlequins are the visitors. Just over half an hour gone.
For once, Eddie, I've got to be on your side because, look, with the quality that they've got on either side, you have to point to the fact that they've got to be favourites to meet at Old Trafford. So it isn't as though you're coming out with anything outlandish, is it?
Bradford showed an awful lot last night, Steve-O, that they know what it takes to get to Old Trafford, and Steve McNamara would love to get there.
They'll have their say, don't worry.
Rob Burrow with a kick downfield, which is going to skip dead.
Idea was good. You realised there was no one there. Wellens was way across the other side of the field.
Clinton Tupi's come off the bench for Leeds, I notice.
Nearly offloaded there.
Move! Go.
Wellens from dummy half. Thackeray and Kylie Luluai, another substitute.
It's great, Jamie!
A good opportunity there for Scott Moore. You see the flow with his hands just come on now. 10 minutes before half-time. Giving Kieran Cunningham a rest.
Jamie, come on,
Can he have an impact?
There is Scott Moore, tackled by Jamie Jones-Buchanan. Scott Moore plays it to Leon Price. Leon Price is grounded. Ellis with the tackle. Moore to Long. Long hoists it high again. Brent Webb retreating to try and catch this. Loses it backwards. Gets away with it. Let's go to the sideline and Bill changes. Bill, any more injuries?
Well, Eddie, you mentioned the fact that Clinton Tupi's on. It's in fact in place of Matt Diskin, who has had an outstanding first half, but seems to have paid the price. He's got a bang on the back of the head. He's got his neck iced at the moment, was grimacing as he came off, but he has made a big contribution to this first half performance from the Rhinos.
He has indeed. Now Luluai trying to do the same. Rob Burrow from dummy half. Good tackle by Scott Moore. Last tackle here. Sinfield left-footed. The ball will bounce harmlessly in the end into the arms of Paul Wellens.
Good pressure there by St Helens. Really didn't give him any room to move at all when Sinfield was aiming to put the kick down there.
Speed and pace of this game, though, the coach is using the substitutes here in the first half. All 4 subs on for Leeds. Scott Moore, long, flicks the ball to Sculthorpe. He's halted, Senior, the tackle. Scott Moore again, Kalis. Oh!
I felt that up here.
Just on for Barry Farsivalou. It was a big collision with Jamie Jones-Buchanan. The kick will stay, will it? In play? No, Scott Donald just allows it to run dead in goal.
I'll be a lot pleased with that because the previous 2 attempts, the whistle, were not the best from Sean Long. Interesting to see how Saints really do handle this pressure without Kieran Cunningham.
Good run from Ian Kirk. He's featured in 5 of the last 6 matches for the Rhinos. There he is, the former York National League 2 champion in 2005, Ian Kirk. There's Thackeray. And here is Kylie Luluai.
That's a better discipline from Leeds than we've seen in the last 2 games. They prefer to ruck it out, work out of their own half, and here's Thackeray.
Good tackle there, Sculthorpe, yeah.
Sculthorpe. Here's Burrow. Shaped a kick, gave it to Tupi. Hits the gap. Passes to Long. Well, Clinton Tupi, sub last week against Warrington. He responded with his first try in the big win.
Look at this here. He really should have held on to the football. Tried to offload there. There's some big hits. Jason Cayley's felt that one.
There's McGuire.
Well, there's times like this where Sean Long has to start directing things out there.
Scott Moore.
Ooh.
Ian Kirk got a bang then on the knee of Kylie Luluai, I think. Long with the kick. He's gone for a 40-20 here. He has gone for a 40-20 and he's got it.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you mentioned the fact that this is a man that has to start taking control, and there's no better way to do it for your side, to lift them a beautiful 40-20. He lost his radar a bit there early in the game, but he's certainly got it back now, Robbie.
And this is the thing that gets you with St Helens. You think you've got them, you think you've got them under the cush, and then individuals like Sean Long, Kieran Cunningham, Leon Price, they get them out of trouble, and next minute you're under the cosh.
I bet the St Helens supporters are delighted that Sean Long has said that he wants to concentrate on his St Helens career from here on in. No other distractions. This is Melly. Important tackle again by Ashley Gibson. That's Tyra. Here is Long. Flicks the ball to Bennett.
Keep your eye on Price. Will he come on the second phase? He's behind Kalis.
Scott Moore, Sean Long. This is Leon Price. Managed to hold on. Flicks it out the back door to Wellens. Oh, the tackle missed. Wellens! And Wellens is over the line for St Helens. 4 last week. And 1 here tonight. The first tackle was missed. That was the important one. And Wellens just kept on going, saw the line approaching, and he thought, well, I got 4 last week. Let's make it 5 in 2 games. And he was delighted when he plonked the ball over the line. The man of steel going on to new heights each week in the Super League.
When you say a man's got plenty of quality, it came about from the 40-20 from Sean Long, and from that position Price did well to take that. Looks how he sucks in. 3 would be. You've got to make sure you get this fella first off, and they didn't.
All right, Johnny. Yeah, okay, mate.
It wasn't the best pass to Price, but this one was. And it was a swinging arm. Thackeray went far too high. He can't afford to do it. Not with Mr. Wellens around on the park.
Stephen Tyra, the goal kicker now. Just 18 years of age and immense talent. And he can kick a goal as well. All right, that was deemed to be fairly easy. St Helens are ahead 18-14 as we approach half-time. Wellens with the try.
Well, you don't need me to tell you, look, they worked their way out. On the 5th player, the kick really got them down with that 40-20. Couple of bounces. Paul Wellens had to do all the hard work in defence at the other end of the field. First chance he's got to score, he got over the line.
Tony Smith has come down from the front row of the stands to wait in the dressing room area. McGuire dumped to the ground by Senior. Here is James Graham, entering the last minute of a pulsating first half. A thrilling first half.
I think Robbie Paul hit the nail on the head in regards to the fact that you just have a feeling that you've got Saints and they have the ability to come back with something different. And an offload is a bit dangerous there. Roby did well. Oh, that was a swinging arm there by Sinfield. He's got to win. Roby's still going.
How on earth did he get out of that? Here is Melly, Tala rather. This is Scott Moore. And Price is tackled on the last. Now then, I wonder if Long will hoist him the high bomb. No, he's going for a drop goal. Sean Long. Long with the drop goal. He's kicked it. He has. Sean Long gets the one-pointer. Ever since Steve-O said Long had to stand up to the plate and take control, this fellow has. What an effort.
Superb connection, wasn't it? Right over and in the middle. That is a great boost. Psychologically, you go into the dressing rooms and you say, we are well in control. Courtesy of this man, a magic 10 minutes before the break.
2 drop goals in 2 weeks for Sean Long. He got 1 against the Catalan Dragons last weekend at Knowsley Road. But it's 3 tries to 2 to the Saints. A frantic, fabulous first half. And St Helens lead it by 19 points to 14. Next weekend's Super League programme here on Sky Sports looks like this. Hull Kingston Rovers against the Huddersfield Giants. Next Friday, 7:30, Sky Sports 1 and in high definition on HD1 as well. And next Saturday, we'll be at Wakefield for the visit of Hull FC. 5:30 start, Sky Sports 1 and HD1 again. And one thing does cross my mind when we think about next weekend. Who will Paul Cook be playing for this time next week? Leeds Rhinos 14, St Helens 19 at half-time. The Saints supporters hoping for much of the same in the second half. So too is the chairman on the right of your screen there, Eamon McManus. Mr. McManus has, I don't know whether the phrase is fought off a bit from Ireland, Steve-O, to take control of the club, a big money offer, but he certainly turned it down.
He certainly has, mainly due to the fact, okay, it was a lot of money and it must have been extremely tempting, but within the first 5 minutes, evidently, he asked, did they know where St Helens was? And they had no idea. So that is not the reason to make sure a club goes forward, but they've no idea of where they're buying.
Indeed not, and let's hope that Mr. McManus has some good news for us in the near future about the new stadium that the St Helens team so desperately needs and deserves.
Evidently there will be an announcement on Monday, I do believe.
Really? That's good news. Let's hope it is good news. Underway second half, as you can see. Jamie Thackeray for the Rhinos, trying to bounce his way through Leon Price.
Little doubt that Tony Smith would have been very pleased, especially with the way that the forwards have worked hard. It's not often you see for periods in a game where St Helens are completely outplayed in up front.
Brilliant pass. What a pass from McGuire to Burrow. Burrow backing himself with the speed. What a great tackle from Long to prevent it. They're going wide. This is Tupé. First blood, second half to the Rhinos. McGuire's pass was sublime. And Clinton Tupé, his Leeds career, I think it's fair to say, has not been littered with highlights, but that will be one of them. And the pass from McGuire to set Burrow away tackle in defence from Long was superb. The quick play of the ball, and Tupi dives his way over. Well, they picked up the cudgels at the start of this second half.
Quality. And we've seen that throughout the first half, and we're barely seconds into the restart, and we have got more and more to offer. Tupi, been given a mission in many ways, been dropped to the bench. He was last week, he's done again the same, but he's come up trumps. But the combination between the two halfbacks, and it is a great incentive, you know, with these two halfbacks, Danny McGuire, Rob Barrett, with the knowledge that Tony Smith will be taking charge of the international sides. And what better way than to just give him a little reminder that their combination, Phil Clark, at times can be outstanding.
Well, they have, haven't they, to start this game. Big test now for Kevin Sinfield from the sideline. He likes pressure.
He doesn't take the ball back too far, Sinfield, but he has missed with that. It was a very acute angle for the Leeds captain, but he's a goal kicker supreme.
Do you know what? It took St Helens just over a minute to score a try to start this game, but Leeds have done it even less than a minute. I thought the first play when Kyle Luluai took the ball forward, it set the platform. Once you clear that 20-metre line, you know your team are going forward and out of that danger zone. The next two carries on the back of that kept on sending St Helens backwards. And the speed of the play of the ball, as you see the St Helens defenders on the right of your screen still retreating. Here's a further play, Peacock's favourite one, just getting in behind that hole behind the play of the ball. Again, getting up to the halfway line, and then the two magicians at half-back. There's the combination, once he's through, bang, you know what happens next. He comes through.
Sensational, wasn't it? Absolutely sensational. This is Brent Webb for Leeds, back within a point of St Helens at the start of this second half. McGuire again, he's gone without it this time. Scott Moore picks up the loose pieces.
It's amazing, isn't it? Seconds ago, it was sheer quality and skill, and then it comes up with a schoolboy error.
This is Paul Clough. He will play the ball to Scott Moore. Here is James Graham. Been playing together, those three, in academy football not long ago. Here they are in Super League. And this is Leon Price, and that is Sean Long, and this is Stephen Tyrer, another of the St Helens young guns, and he is halted by 3.
Tremendous sliding defence from Leeds there. You notice no one came out of the line, just went over onto that left-hand side.
Francis Melly is halted now, but look how close St Helens are to that Leeds line. They'll give themselves space here with Price. He will find Sean Long trying to ghost his way up the middle. And Long is brought to ground, bang in front of the sticks. Last tackle here for St Helens. Scott Moore gives it to Leon Price, dabs it through, is played at. It's going to be 6 to go here. It is. The referee wipes the tackle count down. McGuire has it.
Crowd don't like it, but it's absolutely spot on there from the official Ashley Klein.
And this is Paul Clough.
They won't lie
Golden opportunity for St Helens.
They won't lie down, Eddie, that's for sure.
This is Wellens. Halted by Tupi.
They need someone coming back on the angle.
This is Scotty Moore. Now James Graham. And Graham is tackled standing up underneath the post again. Can Leeds survive this second set of 6? Long. Roby. Good tackle, Burrow. Here's Long again. Stabbed to it in goal area, bounced off the knee of Thackeray. No, it was off the hands, says Ashley Klein, and Thackeray is furious.
Oh, they just grabbed him back in time. I think it was going to give this fella a real mouthful. Did he get his hands to it? It's pretty hard to.
Well, Ashley Klein was closer to it than us.
We've seen some good attack tonight. We're going to see if there's some good defence in this Leeds side. This is the third set now within their own half, close to their own line, that they're going to have to defend. The former Great Britain coach, David Waite, sitting in the stand. Well, he's chosen a pretty good game to come to.
Yeah, he picks his matches, David Waite. And the new Great Britain coach not too far away from him. Of course, the man in between David Waite and Tony Smith was one Brian Noble. 6 minutes, second half. That's in the coaching capacity of the Great Britain team, of course. No, Brian Noble's not here tonight. I think he's probably sat with his feet up and his slippers on, enjoying this showpiece match with Leon Price.
That was fine. The dummy runner came behind him. He would have been in a lot of trouble if he'd got in front.
Roby thought St Helens' ball's dropped, and Sinfield has it back.
Great work by the Leeds captain there. A little bit too fancy, but it was Johnny on the spot. He read it well. Scott Moore could have been penalised there. Went for a second grab. Now can they keep the Rhinos down in their own quarter?
That's what they're trying to do. Carly Lillawai doing his best to try and get them out of danger. Lee Smith will carry the battle on, and Lee Smith with a hard break. And Noy hacks it forward for Webb. And if the ball bounces kindly, Webb might do okay, but it won't. It will run down. And anyway, Melly was first to it.
I don't know about you, Steve, but that third tackle, they've just done 18 tackles on their own line.
That really just had a bit of a brainstorm in many, many ways. Okay, we know and realise Brent Webb has got plenty of pace, but to have kept possession there would have delighted his coach, Tony Smith. And it's things like that that against this St Helens outfit, you've got to take your opportunities. But you've got to use a lot of brains as well.
Halted by the tackle from Gibson and Tupi. Robbie, it's carried on.
It definitely has. Great game, but it's going to be interesting in the next 15 to 20 minutes how those three defensive sets for Leeds actually pans out on their energy battle.
Here's Jason Kalis. Back it goes to Long. Now it's with Price. Price misses out one, finds Willie Talau. Lee Smith gets him down. Last tackle for St Helens here. Only just over halfway. Long, quick hands, Wellens. Forward, says the referee. And so do about 12,000 members of the South Stand.
Well, for a few seconds, Mr. Ashley Klein is a favourite. Not conclusive there either way. The decision has been made.
Call from the touch judge, who could hear the hot breath and feel the hot breath of the South Standers behind him.
Well, I reckon he feels a lot more than hot breath on this one, that's for sure. Now then, there was a period for about 10 minutes in that first half where Leeds with the forwards, they were getting over the advantage line. And remember, quick running from dummy half really had the St Helens defence in a lot of confused state.
Tupi, ball off.
It's a knock-on first, I feel.
Knocked the ball on.
Was it a fingertip?
Penalty now. A penalty to Leeds Rhinos because of Francis Melly's petulance. He's annoyed by himself. Well, it wasn't played on, said the referee, even though Stephen Tyler got a hand to it.
Well, it's his claim that Tyler is going into the tackle, and that would have been head and feet to Saints, and well, he's brought them back.
Is it where the kick was taken from?
Yeah, and well, he was mad, but I think he realises now that there's one person over on the far side, a bloke called Daniel Anderson, his coach, will be a little bit more concerned about that. Not happy.
Well,
every right to it.
Given Leeds the chance with Ian Kirk.
Move! Right, James, just tackle, mate.
Sinfield and Thackeray. It's a good battle between James Graham and Jamie Thackeray, isn't it? Sinfield down the blind side. Sinfield! Just short of the line again.
Full credit to Leeds, though. They're hitting that line.
Burrow to McGuire. McGuire to Peacock. Away from Scott Moore. Peacock will straighten it up. And Peacock goes down on tackle number 5. No, they're offside, St Helens.
I think he's stolen the ball, Eddie.
No, it's offside, the sign. I think he got the call from the touch judge. Full house in Headingley tonight. He has real ball stealing.
Yeah. Now then, Bennett. Sculthorpe's got a hand in there. Has Bennett got it?
Yeah, it's all right, don't worry about that.
Yes, it is. It is a ball steal, definitely.
Couldn't actually see who it was. Perhaps it was Sculthorpe. Not surprisingly, the Rhinos have opted to take the two on offer, which will ensure that they take the lead. This is nip and tuck, isn't it? All the way through. The quality of this match, as expected, has lived up to expectations.
And Sinfield kicks the penalty. That edges Leeds ahead, 20 points to 19.
Ball came about by that silly kick downfield. Put Leeds into a very, very good position. But even in the build-up to that, Phil Clark, you could see that the Leeds forwards getting over that advantage line. It builds their confidence.
Well, the transition, isn't it? Both sides having to defend, then very quickly they try and get to the other end and put points on the board. Interesting aspect of this game now. Both coaches have their starting hookers still resting on the subs bench. Cunningham for St Helens, Diskin for Leeds. And I suppose when they come onto the field, maybe the individual battle between those two could be the difference that separates these two sides.
That was one great run from Thackeray. There's another one from Peacock. Almost 22,000 in here tonight. It's a capacity crowd. And they are being treated to a royal show from these two. Brent Webb gets the ball away. It went... Oh, I was going to say that went backwards. That's a contentious call from Ashley Klein. It was a fumble. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he'd lost control of it, McGuire. The fans are going berserk at it, but I think when they see the replay, they'll realise that the first impact was going forward, and as soon as it hit Sean Long, there it is. Even though it hit his face, he had no control over that. And it's well spotted by Ashley Klein, who I must say, he's controlling this game exceptionally well.
Good tackle by Burrow on Wellens. Cunningham's about to come off the bench. This is Scott Moore. Finds Sean Long. Graham. Here is Sean Long again. Now it's with Paul Sculthorpe. Here's Leon Price. Stopped in his tracks by Jamie Peacock and Brent Webb. That's foregone. Cunningham. Here he is. Off Long's fingertips and backwards to Graham. Thackeray gets hold of Graham's shorts with help from senior James Graham is stopped. Last one. Well, listen to this crowd. It's pandemonium tonight. Long hoists the kick. Well claimed Scott Donald.
Was it taken in the air though?
Great tackle, Wellens.
Sidestep run, and welcome to the brick wall. Great work though by Donald, and not standing square. Cunningham having a few words to say to the official, won't help him. I must say, he may have been badly done to. Wellens moved away and left it a bit exposed. If anybody was going to be penalised, it should have been Wellens. He was directly in line with this guy. Got through a lot of work, hasn't he, since he came off the bench, this fella?
Well, we've had a great game so far, and you know we've got 25 minutes remaining, and I think it's going to reach an even greater peak before we go off air tonight. Sinfield gets the ball away to Webb, to Burrow, to McGuire. McGuire tries to straighten it up.
I think you're right, Teddy, we've got plenty of time, and I think there's going to be a lot more points scored in this game. Both sides eager to offload, looking for support play all the time, twisting in the tackle.
Rob Burrow, Jamie Peacock, he'll drive it towards the line. Oh, Peacock with the try! What an effort from the incumbent Great Britain captain. He has been magnificent all year. Outstanding captain of the Tri-Nations, Jamie Peacock, international forward of the year in a celebration
have got to do their job. And they don't come much better than this guy, do they? They held off. There was no one there to take him. No one even attempted to go low for the legs. Tony Smith quite happy with it, and rightly so. And isn't he happy? He reckons this could be the turning point. And I've a tendency to agree with him. There was no one at home. They all went far too high on him, and this guy, he's so unassuming. He scores a try, gets up and just nods and says, well, you know, that's my job.
Kevin Sinfield now to add 2 more points, which he does. Kevin Sinfield, there's only Lewis Jones, Joe Thompson and John Holmes who have kicked more goals in the cause of the Leeds club.
There was no one there going low, no one to put any fear into the big fella, and you can't afford to do that. Fozzard went high.
Well, they had to do the work, didn't they? They've come from their own end of the field. The penalty against the markers, perhaps it was Wellens who went too early, gave them that opportunity. But when these sides get a sniff of that try line, boy, they know how to get over it. People away from rugby league and off the field, like Jamie Peacock, because of the person he is. On the field, the players respect him because of the hard things he does.
That was a great effort, it really was. Here comes Gareth Ellis now. The first time tonight that we have had more than 6 points between these two outstanding teams. McGuire, quick hands to Senior.
Great tackle there from the youngster McGillivray. Had to be as well.
There's Peacock again, just over the halfway line on tackle number 4 to Brent Webb. Kick between Melly and Wellens. Wellens takes control. Look at the chase. He did well then, Wellens. Went to ground so as he wouldn't be picked up and pushed over the try line. There's Tyra. Well, this is a magical night tonight, and we've got a millennium magical weekend coming up. 5th and 6th of May, 2 weeks' time. Join us in Cardiff, a feast of rugby league. Catalan Harlequins, RKR, Saints Wigan.
That's back to 6.
That's the Saturday programme. Sunday, Huddersfield, Wakefield, Salford, Warrington, Bradford, Leeds. Get down there and enjoy this game in the Millennium Stadium, one of the great stadiums of the world, never mind just this country. And these players of Super League will produce the magic.
It'll be a great weekend, that is for sure. You can see McGuire there just getting the fingertips to it, thought perhaps for a moment. You know, in the past, a lot of fans, and myself included, I've often pointed the finger that if there's an Achilles heel in this Leeds outfit, it's often that their forward don't work for the full 80 minutes. They've done that tonight.
So far they have, nearly an hour gone. Big hit on Nick Fozzard.
I know this may seem out of turn to actually say this right now. Leeds are dominating the game, but this is when St Helens are at their most dangerous. When you think that you've got control of them, this is when they come back at you, and this is when they'll score a try out of nothing.
Good contest down in Perpignan, 14-10, Catalan Dragons ahead. Last tackle here for St Helens, Maori Farsavalou on all fours. Another 40-20 maybe from long. No, Brent Webb sees that it's not going to be. And here he comes, back at them. Oh! Farsavalou stood there, and Brent Webb ran into a brick wall. Senior.
What he's trying to do there, he runs it, went intentionally at Leon Price. He's not expecting maybe to break through the tackle. He's hoping to take some of his energy at him, as is Thacker, because they know how dangerous Price is when he has the ball if he's full of energy.
That's Sinfield. Here is McGuire. Now it's Jamie Jones. He's clattered by Cunningham, finished off by Fozzard. Sinfield, dabbed down the line. Whoa. The young man coped with that brilliantly, actually, Dean McGillivray. Let's give him credit for that. He's only 18 years of age, birthday on Tuesday, and didn't he cope with that well? Didn't panic.
Well, that's the reason why the lead skipper, Kevin Sinfield, went for that option right into the corner. They've got to test him, and they can afford to do that with a 7-point lead. Put inexperienced players under that pressure.
I don't know of anybody that is more difficult to put to ground this year than Maori Farsavalou.
Been outstanding, and this has been an outstanding game as well. They've given it all.
Another 40-20 effort from Long, but again, Brent Webb positioned himself perfectly. That has memories of the Tri-Nations, doesn't it? Every time Long in a Britain jersey kicked downfield against the Kiwis, there was Brent Webb. And he's here tonight for the Rhinos.
Been a well-balanced performance as well by the Rhinos. They've got through the workload, they're sharing it exceptionally well, but the forwards again, it's been a highlight, and I'm sure that the coach Tony Smith will be happy with it, is that getting over that advantage, like, it's not easy against his Saints outfit. Oh, that's got to be forward.
That was lucky. 2-Peter Donald, and Donald goes down.
Well, they were very fortunate not to have that pulled back.
This is McGuire, a dab over the top. Jamie Jones-Buchanan is the chaser. Oh, and Wellens does brilliantly. Wellens, that was class.
I don't know how he does it. It's as though he's just having a little trot in the park on a Sunday afternoon.
He's laid back to the extent if he goes any lower, he'll be asleep, Paul Wellens. What a brilliant piece of defence this is. Look. Oh.
9 out of 10. They'd say, I'll take the safety option, just running over the whitewash. No, not this fella.
Cunningham loses the ball. Ashley Gibson picks it up. Tyra gets the tackle in. That's the 0. Here goes Thackeray.
It's a long time since I've seen that. Looks like Tyra's picked up an injury.
There's a knock-on over on that far side. Thackeray couldn't keep hold of the ball. And St Helens breathe a sigh of relief.
To be a problem as well by Stephen Tyra. There you see him. He really got knocked out of the way. Cunningham goes right into the ball-carrying arm, and that's the reason I feel that Thackeray has lost it. Ooh, has he deliberately launched at it? Either way, it's a letter for the Saints. He's got it back. The ball's pinched from him.
Stephen Tyra is feeling the pinch on that far side. I think they all should be feeling the pinch. Good heavens above, what a night this has been.
Well, the ace that Daniel Henderson has up his sleeve at the moment is James Roby, still on the side, just limbering up as we speak here now. But again, we've seen what impact he can make.
Yes, Roby waiting to be given the nod by his coach. Here's Farsivalou again. Look at him.
Takes 4 and his
penalty.
Oh, that is a big call. There were plenty of hands in there. Bailey was one of them. And this is when the Saints can get very dangerous. I think he just lost that. Contentious penalty this. I don't think Bailey was going for the football.
It's actually not for that, it's for the grapple tackle by Bailey around the head of Farsivalou. Fair play. Leeds now with a big job to do in defence. As Robbie Paul has said, you think you've got St Helens on the rack, and they come up with a piece of brilliance. Well, there is Cunningham.
The one advantage, of course, is that Leeds have got that 7-point margin. It's a great advantage to know that the opposition have to score twice.
This is Long, and now it's with Sculthorpe. Short ball to Bennett.
Did well to hang on to that.
Cunningham scoots into dummy half, gets Leon Price out of the way.
Oh.
Last tackle here for St Helens. Back it comes to Long. Long to Willie Talau. Ball goes to ground. Oh, it's picked up by young McGillivray, who did well then. Again.
That'll be the turnover, though. There's a coach getting the message out, saying, look, perhaps we needed more possession. Maybe he was saying we should have taken the option of kicking the in-goal area, trying to get the restart.
Putting him offside, right, and interfering.
Now they will Leeds change their tactics. They try to keep the ball alive. Remember, last time we were here against Wigan, it allowed the Warriors to pinch the game in the final seconds.
Have they learned the lesson of that night? Painful lesson it was. Sinfield wrestled to the ground by Mauri Farsivalou. Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Luluai. That's the last one for the Rhinos. Jamie Thackeray's run his blood to water tonight. All the forwards have.
Okay, kick it clear.
Webb with the kick. Wellens, it's easy. Wellens goes to ground again.
Move that with the back of the shoulder. Get offside, Ryan, McGuire and
They've been cruel at times, haven't they? The Leeds pack.
Basagaloo, Gareth Ellis got to him. Just a sign that maybe Saints are just running out of gas. They were plodding then, one or two of them. This is Tallow. This is Leon Price. Leeds at the moment able to contain St Helens in their own half.
They've been disciplined, haven't they, Leeds, especially with the sliding defence. You can see them pointing. You take him. I'll spread out.
Last tackle here for St Helens. They're still inside their own half of the field. The kick from long, 40-20 again. Down the middle it goes. Between Webb and Lee Smith. Webb takes control. Cunningham is first to him. Good run. Great run from Lee Smith. Great run from Smith. He has Webb! And Brent Webb will not be stopped for Leeds. Tyra's after him, but Webb gets the try. Brent Webb, the New Zealand international, who when we saw him on the Tri Nations, when we saw him in the New Zealand jersey over here, we said if he ever got to Super League he would light the scene up. Well, he was in exactly the right place at the right time then, and credit Lee Smith for the break. Leeds just get a little more daylight between themselves and the champions.
And the Saints have paid the price for a poor chase. The kick was good, got to it, but they were very slow and tired at the play the ball area. Lee Smith jumped into dummy half, and Brent Webb knew exactly what the winger was going to do. He knew he had the pace. You have to think on your feet all the time. It's no good getting the chase through and then allowing the dummy half to scoot away, and that is exactly what Smith has done. And the Kiwi Webb surely has wrapped it up now for the Rhinos. Desperate look on the face of Sean Long. Ronnie the Rhinos happy, and why shouldn't he be?
There's a try scorer, 26-year-old Brent Webb. He is the goal kicker for Leeds, Kevin Sinfield. There's the 2 points for the Rhinos. They edge further ahead. It's 32 points to 19.
Basagaloo was very slow to get into a position. Smith took advantage and Webb did the rest.
Credit Tyra, he never gave up the chase, but it was a lost cause in the end. Daniel Anderson has won 4 of 5 head-to-heads with Tony Smith, but he lost the one that mattered. A 2005 playoff tie at Knowsley Road. An Ali Lawatiti try took Leeds to Old Trafford with a 19-16 winning margin. Tony Smith might just have another one on the board against Daniel Anderson tonight.
He's impressed with this fella.
And he's smiling all the way to the bank, Tony Smith.
Oh, that was a high shot there by Kalis. Got away with it. But what about the running of Kyle Luluwai? No finesse. Give me the ball, and I'm going straight into it. Hard for us.
In the south of France. Catalan against Warrington. Here is Ellis. Burrow gets away from the challenge. They've got 3 on the overlap wide. Oh, interception! Wellens! They were putting the cue on the rap leads. They thought they got the try. Here comes the counter.
Great running from both sides, but Jamie Jones-Buchanan, he got back. And look how Leeds have, well, they've got their defence sorted out so quickly.
This is Stephen Tyra. Sean Long is limping off the field. Problems for Saints. But here is Roby. This is Cunningham. And Cunningham, oh! It was touched by Diskin. It's back to 0. And Tallow takes the tackle.
Well, the sword,
10 to go.
The sword was going right into the heart, and Wellens came out of nowhere. Oh, what's that?
Forward. Ashley Klein.
Well, that is a very, very dangerous move.
Well, problems for Sean Long. Let's get down to Bill.
It's a bit of a mystery, this injury, Eddie, because Sean Long was away from play when he suddenly went down. Now, whether he just went over on his ankle, because it seemed to be his left ankle that he was clutching when he was lying in back play as play continued, but he was in a lot of pain, and he still looks to be in that way.
Well, he was just advancing back, and then all of a sudden,
he just fell over.
He's gone over on his ankle, hasn't it? I think it's probably lateral ankle ligaments.
Well, to be fair, this Headingley turf is pretty good normally. It isn't as though you'd find a big divot out there, but he was just going backwards into the one line of defence, and it's as though someone shot him. Down he went.
Well, Saints will be hoping that is not a serious injury for Sean Long. They really are getting down to the bare bones. 4 teenagers tonight. Big stars out. Here is Senior, but tell you what, whether there's big stars out or not, the youngsters have stood up to the challenge here. Webb, left-footed. Good kick. Oh, terrific kick from Brent Webb. It's not 40-20, it's Headingley to St Helens.
It doesn't matter when you're leading 32-19. Super kick by the full-back. You know, Tony Smith will be pleased with a lot of things that's gone on tonight, but the one part of this game that he will look at is when Wellens took the intercept, they got back in numbers. How Jamie Jones-Buchanan got back quick enough was unbelievable.
Daniel Anderson has introduced 1 or 2 new things to rugby league in this country, but maybe the fact that the coach now sits in the dugout with the supporters is almost the next phase. He's sitting in there amongst them, he's got a walkie-talkie communication with his assistant sat back in the stand. It's a change on the way that things have been done in the last few years. Alan Wilson, his assistant, well, he has to listen to the messages back up there. Not sure what he can do sitting in the stand.
Well, he's amongst it, I suppose, isn't he? He's part of it. He can smell it. He can feel it.
And he'll be feeling a lot of pain.
They all will tonight after this. There have been some big hits, but there has been some exquisite play. Sculthorpe is tackled by Senior. Right on halfway the last.
There hasn't been a bad player on this Leeds outfit.
Not been many battens on the Saints side either, Steve.
Too true.
Kick it clear.
Scott Moore, there's a great kick from him now. Scott Moore, one of the unsung heroes. 19, but he seems to have been around for years, this young fellow.
He's done his bit. He came off the bench, that is for sure.
Do you remember the day he made his debut at Wigan? He was the youngest player ever to play in the Super League. 16 and a little bit. 2004. He's waited and waited for his chance. The chance might be coming this year with the injury Saints are getting. 5.5 to go.
And it's a tribute to both clubs, isn't it? That the amount of youngsters, local youngsters that have been blooded and brought through. That's the problem for Sean Long.
The ankle is strapped heavily, as you saw. This is Senior. Brent Webb. Short ball, Lee Smith again. Oops, went without it, just lost it.
Just kick ball away, just kick ball away.
He's had a fine game though. Given the opportunity. Was it snatched out either way? Lost possession. Is it snatched? Well, it's hard to say whether McGuire got a fingertip to it.
Well, I think he did, but it was one-on-one anyway, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And actually, Lee Smith's a lucky guy because he kicked the ball away in frustration, the way that Francis Melly did earlier, and Ashley Klein didn't spot it, I don't think. Scott Moore. Oh, Melly was missed by Ashley Gibson. Spun to the ground by Clinton Tupy. Here goes Stephen Tyra.
In one of the rare occasions that we've seen actually St Helens break down this Leeds defence in the second half.
Sign of fatigue again. Ball just behind the players. This is Kalis. Back it goes here to McGuire. He won't let anyone down, this kid.
A lot of fatigue coming into it now, and I'm sure that St Helens are fully aware of it.
Talau, Sculthorpe.
Swarming defence. I don't think I've seen Leeds tackle like this throughout the entire game as well for many, many a day.
Wellens to Price. Price gets the ball on to Moore. Oops. Play on, it's Roby. It's still Roby, it's a penalty to St Helens.
High shot, it should have been a penalty earlier actually. There was the ball steal.
And now someone said something out of turn. They've been marched 10 metres further forward.
No doubt about it, Kylie Lulawa went for the head, but
this is Paul Clough now for St Helens.
It'd be mere consolation even if they do get over here. And the message from Tony Smith will be out. Come on, keep them out. That's the important thing.
Almost impossible. Brilliant from Moore. Oh! Wellens puts it down. Lee Smith is quick. Lee Smith is exceptionally quick. So too is Millie, who is chasing him down on the left-hand side. Burrow is there. And Burrow will win the match for Leeds Rhinos. Lee Smith with the break. Francis Millie didn't give up the chase. But the little fellow was there on his shoulder. And over the top went the ball. And Burrow, although he had to check, he took the ball out of the air and hurtled over the line. And Leeds will join Bradford at the top of the table now.
Glum faces on the Saints fans, and not surprisingly, the last two tries coming from the skills of the winger Lee Smith. He created the Webb try, and on this occasion, his speed was sufficient. And the support play from Beep Beep. The mistake, trying to offload, Wellens couldn't get it. Smith took it well on the half volley. Kept his composure. He's looking to see where Burrow is. Spin out, commits the defence, and he knows he has the legs. This has been a tremendous performance by the Rhinos. They have shown their mettle. They have sent down the message to anyone else in Super League. They threw away 2 valuable points and allowed Wigan to snatch it the last time we were here at Headingley. But not tonight. They've been outstanding.
Burrow with a kick because Sinfield's off the field, the captain. And Rob Burrow crowns his try with the extra 2. It's 38 points to 19. Leeds is ninth. Leeds are alongside Bradford. 2 points clear of the field at the top of the Engage Super League.
A lot of people, Eddie, perhaps who were saying St Helens suffering because of the injury, without Gidley, of course.
Oh, the Saints fans will say this is a hollow victory, Steve-O. Not worried about that.
Well, the point I'm trying to make, that this has been a superb performance by Leeds. They have been outstanding. They have been ruthless. And you don't often see that from the Leeds forwards. Here he comes. Come and get me, fellas. He knows it's a win tonight.
It's been relentless from the Leeds forwards, it really has. Senior rushing away from a couple, still going. Brought to ground. Inside the last 15 seconds of a pulsating evening at Headingley. Bailey still. Listen to South Stand counting down to Leeds at the top of the table. They're not finished yet. They're still not finished. Saints will not give it in, you know. It's a lost cause. They might have the last laugh. Tallow. No, they won't. The tackle from Jamie Peacock sees to that. A little nod of satisfaction between captain and coach. Leeds have won. Daniel Anderson knows his team came here broken, but they gave a wonderful account of themselves. The youngsters like Tyra, McGilvery, Moore, Clough, they stood up to be counted alongside the big boys in this team. But you can see what it means to the Rhinos to win this match tonight. The Leeds skipper will be delighted, I've no doubt. Kevin Sinfield is talking to Bill.
Kevin, scoreline in the end looks pretty emphatic, but that took some achieving, didn't it?
Yeah, very tough game. They always are against Saints, and I think our defence won it in the end to 0 Saints in the second half. Not many teams will do that this year, and the last time we played here we got defeated, so we're good to bounce back.
At times, though, it was people were throwing caution to the wind, weren't they? There seemed to be a real openness about the game.
Yeah, very much so. Two sides would like to throw the ball about, two similar coaches, and teams full of internationals. We've got a dry track here today, great weather for it, and thought it was a great spectacle and a great one to play in.
Well, I think the view was it's probably the game of the season so far, so it must be good to be involved in a game like this.
Yeah, especially when you win. I think, you know, they're special when you come out on top. You know, over the last season or two, we've not had that many victories against Saints, so to get this one tonight, just we know we're on the right track.
Yeah, it's early days yet, but you can look at this in a very positive light.
Yeah, it's early days, but we picked the 2 points up. That's all that's to play for at this early stage. It's a long, long year, but we're pretty happy tonight.
Thanks, Kevin. Let's bring Paul Sculthorpe in, and you look at that scoreboard and think, how did it get away from you in the end? Because in the lead at half-time, and looking as though you were going to go forward and take a grip on the game, and it got away from you.
Yeah, we just never turned out second half. They just got on a roll and we just couldn't stop it. You know, we looked dumb out there. We looked short of ideas at times, and defensively we were just, like I say, we didn't stop the offload. You know, they got a roll on and they demolished us. It's
an old cliche. Do you think half-time came at the wrong time for you? Because you got ahead, got the drop goal, and you were really on a roll then.
No, I don't think so. I mean, you know, we're coming out the second half. You know, we should start again. It's, you know, it's 2 different games, and you know, we didn't do that. We never got going. And all credit to Leeds. You know, they played well. They put the foot down, and we just couldn't stop the roll.
You'll point to the fact that you lost Matt Gidley on the way here. You've got Lee Gilmore absent as well, among others. 4 teenagers in the side. It was a bit of a baptism of fire for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at some of the teenagers. Little Dean on the wing. I thought he was one of our better players. So there's no excuses. You know, the lads who've been there were good enough to do a job, and we didn't do it.
Thanks for talking to us, Paul. Well, let's bring Rob Burrow in as well. Had a stormer for the Rhinos. And Rob, half-time, as Paul was saying, it looked as though Saints were in the well, they were in the ascendancy, but you came out like your house on fire.
Yeah, we were behind at half-time, but we know if we stuck to his game plan like we did at times in the first half, we'd put in a good second half, and we did that tonight.
Did you up the pace maybe at the start of the second half? It certainly looked like it.
Not a specific time. We wanted to come out with plenty of energy. We've got a pretty quick side, and we thought we'd use it to our benefits, and thankfully we came away with a win.
And how significant do you think this result is in terms of laying down a marker for the rest of the season, really?
Oh, it's massive. I mean, St Helens have been the best team over the last couple of years by far, and we knew that with it being a top of the league battle that it was crucial we get a win, but a lot of it was down to confidence. We had a big confidence boost tonight.
And a word for the forwards as well, because to beat Saints, that's an area where you've got to dominate, and they really did put their bodies on the line tonight, didn't they?
That's right. We certainly knew that the St Helens pack's a massive impact for them. If we could stop them and be physical with them, we knew that we could dominate in other areas.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Thanks. Cheers, mate.
Well, they have absolutely run their blood to water, these players, and all 3 of them, they spoke very well and very diplomatically. There was no crowing, there was no messing about. They're a credit to the game. Catalan Dragons ahead of Warrington by 21-16, meanwhile with 10 to go in the south of France. Here, it is a night that belongs to the Leeds Rhinos. 24 unanswered points in the second half. Saints led 19-14 at the break. Tupi, Peacock, who was magnificent, Webb and Little Burrow came up with the goods, and the Rhinos have won by 38 points to 19. They are joint top of the Super League table.